Often when we talk to World War II veterans, we hear something over and over again, and that something is unique to veterans of that war. Those veterans often say something like, "I didn't want to miss the war." That was a common feeling in the U.S. after the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941.
The severe bombing of Pearl Harbor by enemy planes, undoubtedly Japanese.
December 7th, 1941, hundreds of Japanese fighter planes attacked the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor.
Such a shock, Pearl Harbor, and everybody was so patriotic, and we're all so mad.
In 1941, Ace Haston was a student at Central High School.
Everybody was ready to do something about it.
This battle has been going on for nearly 3 hours.
That's the way I felt.
There has been fierce fighting going on in the air and on the sea.
This is the story of what Ace Haston did. And did you fly with the same 10 guys for all 12 of those missions?
Yeah.
Same crew.
Same crew. Yeah. The band's on the pier playing and everybody hollering hooray, and real, happy time it seems. And 31 days later, we landed in Manila, and they flew us from there to Moritai.
Ace and his crew flew 12 missions out of Moritai.
The first 2 missions, we flew around midnight, and we flew at 24,000 feet.
That was just high enough to be out of range of the ground fire.
And we would search and destroy anything that moved.
They were flying over India and southern China.
They were all streaming home, trying to get home. Any way they could walk or ride. They even had a whole fleet of small boats that was taking them around the coast back to Japan.
Ace was the bottom turret gunner in a B-24, a dangerous place to be during missions.
I think you had to be 17 and stupid.
He was the youngest man on the crew, and at the time of this interview, the last one still living. But for several years after the war, his crew started having reunions.
Every year, we always met at the pilot's home. He lived north of New Orleans.
Those reunions lasted about a decade, but when they ended, he really didn't talk to anyone about what happened in the South Pacific in 1944 and 1945.
My daughter lives next door, and son-in-law, and I never talked to them about it. And the 2 grandboys, I didn't. And she has a way of getting things out of me I don't mean to tell. So I told her, and that's when she decided I need to see you.
And we're glad he did see us. After the war, Mr. Haston came back home to Chattanooga and had several careers. He worked in the grocery business, he owned a service station, and for several years he drove a truck for Shell Oil.